Being so oblivious to any surroundings can have its ups and downs. However, I think any person is allowed some leeway when it comes to not knowing something. For example, if something huge happens and it affects you a lot, there isn't really any excuse to disregard it. I wish the people I told this story to believed this. Because after first sharing my experiences with them, I was met with people downplaying my experience, telling me it was all completely false, and that I needed to go and get checked. I usually don't really believe in stories like these. They just sound so cliche, and perhaps a way to get attention, by over-exaggerating a story which never really put them in any peril. I guess that was what my initial audience thought, but they are all wrong, and I can try to prove it with this recollection. I'd always wanted to go camping, but I couldn't find anyone to come with me. Everyone I asked seemed to be too busy with work, or had family issues or whatever. I tried to not let it get me down too much, and so I decided to go by myself. In many ways, it seemed to be better. I could do what I liked, could go where I wanted, and had half the worries I would have if I was with someone else. I decided on a remote spot in Cornwall, England. I searched for a good while, eliminating results and trying to be as picky as possible, so that I would never forget the experience. It's safe to say I achieved my goal, but in all the wrong aspects. It was around a 2-hour drive, but that didn't faze me. Mainly, it fueled me, as I began to delay my hopes, to make my happiness levels when I arrived there rise exponentially. I packed everything into my car and began the long drive. It may have been long, but it wasn't in any way difficult. I mainly stuck to one road, and only turned off in the last 15 minutes or so, to drive cross-country to the field. The field was completely deserted, and I didn't see a sign for any camping. I thought I must be at the wrong place, but I checked the picture on Google Maps, and it matched perfectly. As I saw no one, I decided to just try and enjoy my evening, and I had the freedom to do what I wanted. I made a simple campfire, with my tent already assembled, and I started to cook. I was really starting to relax and enjoy myself. However, I had this constant feeling that I was being watched. Strange thing was though, was that it was from two different sides, my left and my right. I decided to brush it off, as maybe some wildlife had taken an interest in what I was doing, and continued on with my evening. I brought my guitar with me, and so spent the rest of the night writing songs by the fire. I know how cliche it sounds, but it was all purely work at the end of the day, even though people are told never to bring their work on holiday. The aforementioned feeling I had earlier hadn't ceased as well. It was still as strong as ever. It started to make me feel a small bit uneasy. However, all those feelings went away after I climbed into my tent and tried to go to sleep. I stayed up for a small bit before, just to read and collect my thoughts, whilst messaging a few people. Everyone I messaged was really concerned about me, and I couldn't really understand why. I had to put all those thoughts behind me, and I started to drift off. I didn't know what the time was, maybe 2:30, I'm not sure. But I do know it wasn't long after I fell asleep. I was awoken by the sound of a large bang outside my tent. It sounded pretty distant, but still, it shocked me. I thought I was alone. I decided to just stay put, but I did peek my head out of the door, just to check my surroundings. Nothing. I retracted my head and tried my hardest to go back to sleep. However, another bang was heard, and then a shout, one where I couldn't make out what they said. What followed next was one of the scariest things I've ever experienced. A whole group of footsteps was heard charging towards me from two sides, my left and my right. I heard screams of people and many gunshots. I feared for my life and debated running out, but where could I go? I would just get shot instantly. I stayed put and tried to shield my head with my pillow to mask the noise, and eventually, I don't know how, but I fell back asleep. I awoke the next morning and tried to remember everything that had happened last night. I didn't hear anything, So I quickly opened the door and went outside, only to see nothing. Without any hesitation, I packed up my things and got the hell out of there. I did some research when I got home and found out that the place I camped at was no man's land, which I guess explains everything. I can confidently say now that I am never going camping ever again.